With Grammy Week behind us, there was an underwhelming reception to some of the winners on that night. And while you can't help but be happy for someone to win on such a momentous occasion, the Grammys have a record of getting things wrong. Hi, I'm Jasmine with Pulse Music, and if you're new to us, consider subscribing for more content like this. With that said, let's talk about these Grammys. The Grammy Awards are touted as the showpiece occasion for recording artists. The annual ceremony boasts performances by some of the most prominent artists across all popular genres in music. Much like its counterparts in film, theater, and television, the Grammys are viewed by many as the pinnacle of their music industry as far as acclaim. With the award significant as it is, an approval of an artist's accomplishments by their peers in the industry. The nomination process has had its critics. The Academy members who select the nominees are members and registered media companies comprised of musicians, executives, singers, and producers who have to fulfill a certain criteria in order to qualify. The diversity of the voting bloc has generally been panned, with less women and minority groups represented. The Academy has been encouraging both groups to register recently to qualify in order to close that gap. Not to mention the inclusion of certain songs and genres that don't correspond with the category, especially due to the blurred lines in modern music. Especially alongside dancehall, rap, electronica, and alternative music. Case in point being Drake's nomination and win for Best Rap Song for 2016's Hotline Bling, a song that he technically doesn't even rap on. Drake himself even expressed that he probably would have fit better in the pop categories. Drake and the Grammys have a fractured relationship, but more on that later. Well, when we get past the nomination process, we have the actual award ceremony, which is broken into two parts, the pre-Grammy Awards and the live telecast. In the 1989 Grammy Awards show, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff opted not to attend the ceremony in protest, owing to the fact that the inaugural Best Rap Song category would not be televised.
We feel that it's a slap in the face. We boycotted the 1989 Grammy show. We don't have a problem with the Grammy as an award or the Grammy as an institution. We just had a problem with the 1989 design of the award show. We feel that our music was important enough and is important enough.
It's just lack of knowledge.
Yeah, ignorance on the part of NARAS. They don't know anything about rap music. And our boycott was to open their eyes to rap music, so next year some rap group will be able to perform on the Grammys, and the award will be televised because the music is large enough and important enough to be on that show. This is a milestone in our career, and it's a milestone in the history of rap.
Understandably, the genre was still nascent, but the emergent block of hip-hop artists took exception to this. Russell Simmons of Def Jam stating that the Academy at the time had very little respect for the category. The feeling at the time was that rap was just a fad and would blow over soon. Yeah, okay. Anyway, the main point is that there are genres that feel underrepresented, and here the Academy is in a little bit of a jam. But as the charts would eventually show, alternative rock, hip-hop were much more popular than people had previously thought. Then comes the actual awards and the artists that win them. Yeah, you can't please everyone, that's for sure, but when you match up the inconsistencies with the lack of diversity in the Academy's voting block, you start to feel that they never quite get it right. Okay, story time, people. Fresh off the heels of no nominations for the Album of the Year award or Record of the Year, the then 22-year-old Michael Jackson, who had just released his ultra-successful Off the Wall album, was feeling a little blue. What was the reason for this, you ask? Well, Off the Wall was the first album to chart 4 top 10 hits on the Billboard 100 chart, as well as becoming a major commercial success. And Jackson felt slighted by the Grammys and the music industry, only winning one award for the album, the Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. which happens to be his first award. Many critics agreed that Jackson's underrated album deserved more recognition, and Jackson set out to create an album so irresistible, so dominant, that not only the Academy, but the world would acknowledge as one of the best pieces of art the world has ever seen. And the rest is history. Then we have the Best New Artist category, notable for the winners as much as it is for the losers. Sure, you have much celebrated artists such as the Beatles, Tom Jones, Sade, Mariah Carey, Toni Braxton, Lauryn Hill, Carrie Underwood, Adele, and Sam Smith, and Amy Winehouse, who have all carried the award with great merit. But then there are the such as Macklemore and Ryan Lewis over Kendrick Lamar. And what about Evanescence over 50 Cent? What about the debatable ones, such as Bon Iver versus J. Cole and Nicki Minaj, or Maroon 5 over Kanye West? Anyways, it's not actually always a good thing to win the award, and some artists have even labeled it the kiss of death. Lastly, there are the awards that just feel like the Academy voters don't pay as much attention to some of the nominees, either because some have a better name recognition or they just botch it up. Case in point, Alessia Cara was on the end of some backlash after taking home the Best New Artist award ahead of who a lot of people thought would win, which is SZA, forcing her to come out and have to defend herself. Now, while it was a great and historic moment for Barty to win Rap Album of the Year award, a lot of rap pundits actually favored Pusha T and Nipsey Hussle's project over the Bronx rappers. Now, similarly, as great as This Is America was, its wins in the Record and Song of the Year undercut the fact that it was more of a powerful visual versus the lyrical masterpiece. The Grammys pride themselves in rewarding musical accomplishments with no regard to commercial and chart success. But there seems to be an imbalance in their awards, with one year having big names win, while the next some unknown artist wins over a deserving household name. Which nicely brings us back to our friend Drake. Now, Mr. Aubrey Graham had a rather interesting acceptance speech. Where he appeared to discredit the Grammy Awards before being unceremoniously cut off after a slight pause mid-speech. It was rather surprising that Drake even turned up to accept his solitary award. He took the time to inform artists that the awards are not the main validation and that their fans are pretty much what makes them. Rap and hip-hop in particular have had a torrid relationship with the Grammy Awards, and the likes of Eminem and Jay-Z have both heavily criticized the awards before, with Jay-Z notably being nominated for 8 awards at last year's ceremony, prompting his response on his track with Beyonce, Ape Shit. Meanwhile, Eminem has been scathing towards the Grammys, stating openly on his Marshall Mathers LP, "You think I give a damn about a Grammy?" Only to be nominated for 4 awards at the 43rd Annual Awards and walk away with 3 out of the 4. After performing his hit single Stan along with Elton John, Eminem's performance was memorable, especially since he had been criticized heavily for homophobia. And while Eminem took the stage to show that he meant no harm to the community, he voiced about his need for recognition on the 2018 track Lucky You, a sentiment that is only human and you can't really blame Shady for that. There is an inferiority complex that permeates through hip-hop as far as the Grammys is concerned, and there is a constant tug and pull from its most celebrated artists as to how important the awards actually are. J. Cole took the time to celebrate Cardi's win, but much like Drake, also expressed to aspiring acts not to put too much stock in recognition. And if Taylor Swift and Kacey Musgraves can win Album of the Year within 4 years of their introduction, why is it that Beyonce is yet to win the award? But I love you, Kacey Musgraves. The list of artists to never win a Grammy is staggering. Let's see if you agree with us. Bob Marley, Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, Guns N' Roses, Jimi Hendrix, Journey, Katy Perry, Nas, Nicki Minaj, Biggie Smalls, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Brian McKnight, Bjork, Diana Ross, and Queen are some of the most respected acts of their field, but have never won a Grammy. Meanwhile, Milli Vanilli grabbed a Best New Artist award in 1990. It was later rescinded after their lip-syncing controversy, but you see what I'm saying? Like, poor Macklemore had to deal with the backlash after Thrift Shop's sweeping wins over Swimming Pools by Kendrick Lamar, Started from the Bottom by Drake, and Holy Grail by Jay-Z. He pretty much went on an apology tour for the Academy's errors. Look, at the end of the day, we can't expect the Grammys to get everything right, nor award shows are perfect. But unlike, say, the Billboard Music Awards that are based primarily on commercial and chart performance, the Grammys are left wanting. Genre-based awards such as the Country Music Awards or the BET Awards don't seem to suffer as much derision as the main showpiece event of music. The Academy is trying, but they need to do better. So what do you think about this year's event and the Grammys in general? Do you care who really wins? There are some links in the description to some of the articles that have a good critique of the Grammys. And with that said, join the conversation and comment below, like and subscribe to Pulse Music, and make sure to check out our Facebook page as well, where we will post DJ mixes especially for you. Until next time,